Oh, that hurts. I feel heartbroken. I'm not angry, I'm just like upset. Like, I don't think we were awful. We went toe to toe with Arsenal for 70 minutes. I thought that's for 70 minutes that game was really equal. And then it just went like that in the final 20 minutes. And Arsenal deserved that goal. Arsenal deserved that winner. But I grew up Fergie versus Wenger. Like, I grew up with this Arsenal rivalry. Like, I feel a rivalry to Arsenal just because of the way I grew up more than I feel a rivalry to City. I do not want Arsenal to win the league, but they were fantastic today. The final 20 minutes, I think, you know what, a big part of it was we had that midweek game against Palace. I think maybe we tied off that last 20 minutes. Their week rest showed over our 3-day rest. But we weren't good enough in those last 20 minutes, and it terrifies me how good Arsenal were and the fact that they might literally go out there and they might win the league. And I look at this game and I go, okay, if we had Casemiro, could we have won that game? Yeah. I thought we were good for 70 minutes. I was really impressed for 70 minutes, and I thought the goals we conceded were sloppy. And maybe that's why it hurts so much, because it almost feels like I feel more upset than I would be if we'd lost 5-0. Because I saw a good performance in there from United. I saw us go toe-to-toe with Arsenal, and then we just lost the midfield. We invited too much pressure on. I think Ten Hag should have made some subs. And the last 20 minutes was all Arsenal. I was thinking, hang in there. And Arsenal got that goal. Whether it's offside or not, it's very, very close. I think you've got to give it to Arsenal. I think they deserved the goal. At the end of the day, you can't say it wasn't coming. We saw for 20 minutes that goal was coming, and Ten Hag didn't do anything. He was naive. And we tried to waste time, and Arsenal got that goal. And that proves that Arsenal winners, title winners, get that goal in Fergie time. And Arsenal have done that with Nketiah. And I look and I want to dissect the match. Yes, Ten Hag should have made subs, but who were his options? Pedestrian, Garnacho, an 18-year-old raw Garnacho. There was no one there, and you got to look at the board, Arnold, Murta, the Glazers, and go, yeah, they should have delivered him more. But I wish we didn't have that game midweek against Crystal Palace. The scheduling fucked us, because if we'd have had a week's rest, and if we'd have had Casemiro, I think it would have been a different game. I look at the midfield, and as United faithfuls tweeted, they said Eriksen's weakness was exposed today due to no Casemiro. McTominay did little out of possession, in and out of possession, and United missed Casemiro because McTominay's a massive downgrade on him. I thought first half McTominay was okay, but I thought it was okay, but the second half, McTominay had gone. McTominay was getting, that first half McTominay dealt with Odegaard well, but second half I thought McTominay was gone. I thought Eriksen was gone. We lost the game in midfield. I thought Varane and Rashford Martinez, I know we conceded 3 goals. I thought they were fantastic. I thought they were really good when we conceded 3 goals. But the midfield was losing the ball. And then as soon as the second half came and we couldn't get a grip of the ball in midfield, the attack was out of the game. And I think, you know, he brought Fred on for Anthony, but he should have brought Fred on for Eriksen, and he should have just gone with Fred. Because as soon as Bruno went on the right-hand side, we couldn't get the ball to the attack because Bruno was so crucial in getting the ball from midfield to attack. And I think that Ten Hag was spot on for 45 minutes. That first half, Ten Hag was spot on. Wakehurst had a fantastic first half. It was non-existent in the second half. You know, we went 1-0 up, and it was 1-1, but silly goal. But we went in at half-time in a good position. I thought Ten Hag has got the spot on. We're not even parking the bus and counter-attacking. We're, 50% possession, 2 shots on targets each. I thought, you know what, if we can come out in the second half, I fancy us. But I did say I had that fear. We came out in the second half versus Man City, not as good. And then obviously Ten Hag's made some changes, and then we beat Man City. We came out in the second half versus Palace, not as good. And we did that again. We came out in the second half, and, they scored, and then we went up and scored. And then as soon as it was 2-2, we went and we were like, let's defend this lead. And that's what we did versus Palace. Right, it's a draw, it's a lead, let's defend this. And then when we defend this, we're not good. When we went 1-0 up to Arsenal, we then sat back and they scored right away. When we went 2-2, we then invited too much pressure. And this is the second game in a row that we've conceded a goal in the 90th minute, people. That freaking hurts. That is 3 points lost. 3 points. We could have 3 points more if we could have just hung on for another minute or 2 longer. But we invite pressure, and when you don't have a good midfield that can sustain pressure, like McTominay and Eriksen, like versus Arsenal, I saw that goal coming. And that's the worst thing. We all saw that goal coming, and we could have, I think, predicted it if we just have made an attacking sub. And I know there wasn't many attacking subs to make, and the board have left Ten Hag out to dry. And I think Ten Hag's a fantastic manager. And I'm going to say this now. We've lost. It hurts. It's painful that we've lost, because we also dropped points to Palace. Both games in the 90th minute. City points dropped. We just beat City. We're on top of the moon, and now we've gone and dropped 2 points 2 games in a row, 90th minute. It's horrible. But I look at that game, and you know what? I'm actually proud of our players. I don't think McTominay's United standard. I thought Luke Shaw had a terrible game, and I love Luke Shaw. I thought De Gea had an awful game. I thought Saka redeemed himself a bit in the second half, but wasn't particularly good in the first half. But I'm proud overall that we went toe-to-toe with Arsenal for 70 minutes, and in the last 20 minutes we dropped off. And I do think that's because of we had a big game. You know, I do. I think if we'd had Casemiro, if we'd had Sancho back in a full fit squad, I think we could have gone to the Emirates and got a result. But that's an if button maybe. And at the end of the day, it was not good enough. I thought Rashford was fantastic in the first half, had Ben White on toast. He had to take Ben White off. Thomas Partey, I think, wasn't particularly good today. Again, another reason why I think Casemiro would have bossed the midfield. And I thought Rashford was excellent in the first half, but then in the second half he's quiet. But the whole attack was non-existent in the second half. And maybe that's because we couldn't get the ball enough. We gave Arsenal so much of the ball. There was a point in the second half where Arsenal had 75% possession to our 25%, whereas in the first half it was 50-50. What is it about half times where we're coming out and we're just dropping off games? Palace were really good in the first half, poor in the second half. Man City, really good in the first half. Then the first 20 minutes of the second half versus Man City were poor. We need to stop this dropping off in the second half. We need to go for games. I think we need to take risks. And I think, you know, Ten Hag's got a lack of options. I think I look at United, I'm happy with what I saw. I saw some tactical stuff. I was happy with the first half. I'm happy with Ten Hag. I think tactically he should have made some changes. He should have took the risk. He should have put Garnacho on. I don't think he should have took Anthony off. But I just think, you know what, we're not, this is just a reality check of it. It was nice to say we're in a title race, but I think we always knew we weren't. I think we've always known we're in a top 4 race. But what I do want to say about Erik Ten Hag is he needs his tools, he needs his facilities. I thought Anthony was all right in the first half. I don't think he was brilliant. I don't think he was awful. I think our fans overreact on Anthony hate. But there's no one there for Anthony when he gets the ball. No one there. And I just look at it and I go, Ten Hag needs his tools. Ten Hag's a capable manager. He's got some average United players playing really well. You know, he got a side with McTominay and Eriksen at the Emirates, playing the best Arsenal side there's been in years, top of the league Arsenal side at home, toe-to-toe with them for 70 minutes. You know, at the end of the day, I said I think we're going to lose this game. I never thought that we were going to win this game. And I thought, especially as soon as Casemiro's out, I was like, there's no chance. And I think, you know, Arsenal got the result in the end. But it took Arsenal a 90th minute winner to win that game. And it's disappointing. We don't want Arsenal to win. But I think it's a level at where we're at. You know, Arsenal have had 3 seasons with Arteta. We've had 6 months with Ten Hag. And what he's done, the turnaround in 6 months from where we were last season is incredible. We're still 6 points clear in the top 4 race. I think, you know, I've always said I never thought we'd be in a title race. It'd be nice to win because now Arsenal very clear. Arsenal very much in the title race. But I never thought we're actually in the title race, if I'm being honest with you. But I think, you know, if we can beat Spurs, you know, we've played Arsenal twice. We've played City twice. We've played all the hard games that we do. You know, we've played our 4 hardest games already. We're the only team that's played Arsenal and City twice in the league. So the way I see it is now, like, all the other games from here on are winnable. We'd be the favourites to win because we're technically in 3rd, and maybe we can get a run building and build some consistency in top 4. I have to say, I thought Sandro Martinez was excellent today. I thought he was brilliant with the goal. We made some super tackles. I thought Sandro Martinez had a brilliant performance. I thought Rashford and Martinez was absolutely brilliant, but I thought De Gea was poor. Maybe if you could say but he was poor. I thought Wan-Bissaka for the goal. Wan-Bissaka at the back post. Some things never change. He was absolutely poor. I thought, but he had a really good second half, making one-on-one tackles. I thought Luke Shaw was just scared of Saka today. I love Luke Shaw. I think he's a fantastic player, but the way Luke Shaw just hid, ran off, backed away from Saka, I'm thinking, Luke Shaw, why are you so scared of Saka? Like, mark him down. And Luke Shaw wasn't good enough today. Eriksen should have done better. Eriksen and McTominay were the poorest players on the pitch to me. They should have done a lot better, especially Eriksen. Really disappointing with him today. And I think he needs a rest. And this is why Ten Hag wants a Frankie de Jong or Enzo Fernandez-like profile, because, you know, we can't rely on Eriksen in those big games because he is being technically played out of position. He's not defensively solid. Eriksen's good in the smaller games when you need to break down teams, but Eriksen in the big games, you know, we can't rely on him to play that deep with McTominay. If he was a Casemiro, he would have been okay because he has that defensive protection, but that gets exposed in the big games. And I also think Eriksen, when he plays midweek, he's never good at the weekend. He's a once-a-week player, and that's because of little depth in midfield. And I've been saying it, Gravenberch, who was fantastic at Ajax last season, in midfield, has played less than 200 minutes in the Bundesliga. Why aren't United looking and going, let's go get Gravenberch on loan? Why aren't United looking at that as well? And I just think, this game really reminds me of the Crystal Palace game. Brilliant first half, goal in the first half, did well in the first half, was happy with what we did in the first half, and then we come out in the second half, and what happens in the second half? The attack's non-existent. And obviously we've got Garnacho on the bench and we're all screaming out, bring on Garnacho, bring on Garnacho, bring on Garnacho. But the fact that there was so little options, you've got to look at the board. Arsenal brought in Trossard, Chelsea brought in 3 wingers, Liverpool brought in Gakpo, and United brought in Weghorst on loan, who again, I thought had a good first half, holding up play. I thought he pressed really well. I thought he put in defensive shift, and I think in the first half it paid off, but I think in the second half, Ten Hag should have made 70th minute, it should have been Garnacho and Fred coming on, it should have been Eriksen coming off. Or he should have gone to Fred and Bruno in midfield We should have gone Rashford on the right. We should have gone Garnacho on the left and Weghorst up top, and then potentially thought about getting Pellistri on for the last 10 minutes if that wasn't working. That's what I would have done. And I think, you know, we can learn from these mistakes. But look, 3-2 loss at the Emirates. It hurts. It's painful. But I'm not going to sit here and rage. I'm not going to sit here and overreact. We weren't awful. It was the final 20 minutes we lost it. We were good. And then we let it go in the final 20 minutes. And it just hurts. Like, I'm not going to rage. I'm not going to be angry. It just hurts. But, you know, we still got to get a midfield and attacker room. We're still a long way off where we want to be. But I'm still comfortable and confident we'll get top 4. And if someone had said to me at the start of the season, United, you know, would get top 4, I'd be absolutely buzzing with that. I mean, look, obviously the standard at United is top 4 isn't good enough. We want to be in a title race. But with the injuries we've had, I think, you know, no Martial today, with the issues we've had with the squad last season, the squad 10 hours had to take over, I still think we're in a good place. And I think you've got to be careful not to overreact. It hurts because I hate Arsenal and they're probably going to win the league, but it's not the end of the world. Smash a like, smash a subscribe. Got the 5 things we learned coming out from the game tomorrow morning. So see you then. Bye.